What's up, what's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we discuss the arts, science, and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent. With this episode's guest, Randy Levin. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist and host of Done Way Past Funny. This is the conclusion of our interview with Randy Levin, former comedian and co-host of the documentary String Theory, Guitar Obsessed. Enjoy. Now, going from with comedy, even with teaching, you get live feedback, instantly. Whether you've got their attention or not. With this, you have to wait. What was the waiting like for you?
I'm still waiting. Well, I am in a way because I mean, luckily, like the first time I made my wife and kids watch, and I was in the room and I was so scared, but they loved it. And the feedback has mostly been tremendous, like really, really good. People too, along the way, I have a couple of friends that are like amateur filmmakers, but they're really honest people. Like if they thought it sucked, they would have told me it sucked.
Right.
And everybody I showed this to in the development stages while it was still raw, like before the animation was in, before the movie was in, the feedback was tremendous by everybody. So I knew we had something. Like I knew we had something special. What I meant by I'm still waiting is, and this applies to your podcast and what's his Matt?
Yeah, Coffee with the Dog, Matt Nampo. Yeah.
We're in a weird age with the internet. There's so much, like getting anybody to pay attention to anything is like spitting in the ocean trying to make a wave. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My joke about this is I'm out here pimping this movie like my ex-wife during Fleet Week. It's really, I don't know how, I'm glad I'm not a performer anymore because I don't know how you get anybody's attention for anything.
I don't know that either. I honestly don't know. If I just do things that I can look back on and go, I like doing that.
Right.
That's it. So
for me, the good news is that the part about this movie is, first of all, the year it took to make it.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing I ever did. I mean, Jared is he's got the editing equipment and stuff, but it was still 50-50. I mean, he did the physical stuff, but we talked through what scene, but that whole process was amazing. I loved it. Putting this whole thing together, I loved it. The good news for me was I never had any expectations that it would lead to anything. I didn't expect to make any money. I didn't expect the doors to open up. I mean, we had ideas that if we had 1 million views and somebody said, what else do you got? We had a pitch deck for something else.
Right.
But the only expectation I have ever had is that people will see it. So I've been relatively disappointed because I'm a Jew and I have to be disappointed all the time.
It's in your contract.
It's in my, I got that. It's like, it's a organ. It's the disappointment neurotic organ.
It's the 11th commandment.
Yeah, exactly. So, putting it on Amazon Prime in June, I was excited because it had a name. It was, my biggest fear, he wanted to put it right on YouTube. And my fear with YouTube was it'll be on YouTube and somebody will go, oh, that's lovely. My 11-year-old daughter has a documentary on YouTube too. And I'd have to fucking kill somebody. It felt like he gave it, some street creds. It's Amazon, but Amazon charged $2.99, and I discovered really fucking quickly how many people refuse to spend $2.99 to watch a movie, including friends.
Right.
Who are not my friends anymore, by the way. Fuck you, $2.99. You're not going to spend. And guitar people who were like, oh my God, that sounds great. $2.99, no thanks. So the numbers were horrible. We put it on YouTube in the beginning of October. Actually, my birthday, October 9th, same as John Lennon. And as of today, I think we have close to 4,300 views, which I'm happy with. It's only been like almost 4 months. Although I want 100,000, which I'll be dead first. But it's really hard. Like getting people to pay attention to anything is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's funny
I was saying, not to cut you off, but I believe, like, the cool thing is I absolutely 100% believe in this. So even when there are some people that don't like it, it doesn't, it's like with comedy. When you're in comedy long enough that when you bomb, you're not like, oh, I suck. You're like, all right, it was an off night, big fucking deal. Because you have the track record to know you're funny. So you just hope you don't have more it sucked than not. But the same with this is with the overwhelming majority of people love it. And if somebody doesn't like it, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I think it's great. Fuck you.
Yeah, I think it's great from beginning with the concept, the sheer fact that you notice those things. For example, my wife notices what baked goods people have in the background.
Oh, that's fascinating. In a TV show or
on a Zoom call, on these Zoom things. Like for example, Sarah McCaskill, whenever she does her spots on the news, right behind her she has a glass cake plate, and she may have like a yellow cake in there or something. And
right, she does it from the kitchen. She's
yes,
island. I know who you're talking. So she watches the same news programs I do.
Oh yeah, my wife and I both watch. We're pretty much
So, by the way, just so you know, as we were making it, I started feeling like we're not giving equal time to the other side. So I started watching Fox News with the sound off because I didn't want to fucking give myself a heart attack.
Right.
Waiting for somebody to have a guitar in the background. Nobody did. And then somebody told me, and this was before he became who he became, but Pete Hegseth, before he became Secretary of,
Secretary of making people's lives awkward.
He had a show on Fox.
Right.
He's a big guitar player. Right. So but when I looked him up and I saw his background, I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to ask. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't find any Republican. I actually, in the interview with Harry Littman, who I love, former assistant attorney general, I said, why is it always Democrats? And he goes, yeah, Republicans, they're not fun. So I really wanted a Republican and then play that clip for him and stuff. But, I couldn't. And also, I couldn't black people with guitars behind them. I searched. There's one guy who is he's a mayor of a town somewhere in the New York area, and he's definitely a political activist. He's got like 7 guitars behind him. And I kept reaching out to him and begging him, but nobody even answered me.
Well, now
isn't that interesting that it's mostly like white males that are older that have the guitars behind them.
Now I'm going to lift the veil here. I'm going to lift my veil because, I don't know if you can see.
Yep. Nice. Oh, and a keyboard too. And neat. Cool.
And on the wall, there's my CD. I don't know if you can see on the wall there.
Oh, cool.
Now,
nice. Oh, is that a bass? Oh, you play?
Yeah, that's a fretless electric bass.
Oh, neat.
Now, all of my guitars have names, and they're on between this. So all of my 6 strings, the names have 5 letters. So there's a letter per space. My bass, her name is Mai, but it's MAI because it's 1 letter per space. That way, when I can put the letters on, because I can put them between the spaces, and I don't have to worry about the string rubbing them off.
Cool.
So, but it's not that I'm hiding mine. It's just that usually I'm doing stuff like this. And I don't want to distract from, because inevitably be like, is that a CD up there?
Right.
You play guitar? You play keyboard? Is that did I see drum? Are those drums? Is that drumsticks over there? Yeah,
that's different because it takes away from what your podcast is. There's no reason for that.
Yeah. So, I'm not as good as I used to be. I got the arthritis. So, so I'm almost embarrassed when people ask me, it's like, so you play guitar? I was like,
Well, but you do.
Yeah, yeah, I do-ish. So it's funny you had mentioned earlier about watching the world from
The corner.
yeah, from the corner. One of my questions is, and it's about basically now I almost always ask comedians, if you're having an argument with your significant other and something really funny happens during the argument, do you A, like, concede the argument, you win so you can write it down before you forget it, B, zone out, try to remember what the moment was, C, just I forgot what C is, but you know,
When I was younger, in my 20s, when I was in the middle of comedy, and I had a girlfriend or my first wife, we had a fight. During the fight, if that happened, I would continue the fight, but like do this, looking for a piece of paper, and like go, hold on. And as you're writing that fucking, are you fucking kidding? Just give me a second. I don't want to forget this. Okay, go ahead. I'm an asshole. Why am I an asshole? All the time. All the time. I used to walk around at nighttime. I had like little slips of paper everywhere. I mean, yeah, no, all the time.
I mean, once my wife and I had an argument, and as soon as the argument was over, I told her, "I'm putting this in." And I'm gonna tell you, this is we were driving to Florida, and we had a plant that I gave her. We had it for years. Matter of fact, we've been together for like 23 years. The plant just died like a couple of months ago. I still have it in the basement trying to revive it because I gave it to her.
Right.
The plant's like 20 years old or 21 years old. It's like losing an old friend. So we're driving, the plant's in front of her, and she's talking. I can't remember what she was talking about. Oh, she was talking about the plant. And she was going, it, and everything she said referred to the plant. It needs water, it this, it that. And then she changed subjects, but she kept saying it. And she was talking about the cat now, but she was still saying it. And it didn't make sense what she was saying.
It has to go to the vet.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, and I said, I'm sorry, what are you talking about now? She goes, what do you mean what am I talking about? I'm talking about the cat. I said, how am I supposed to know that? Because you kept using it, but didn't change what it is.
Right.
And she says, I thought I married a man who was smart enough to follow a conversation. And I said, I thought I married a woman who was smart enough to know how to use the English language.
Right.
And then I said, oh, I'm putting this in. She goes, nobody's going to think that's funny. I said, oh, yes, they will.
I thought I married a woman smart enough to know what a pronoun is.
Yeah.
A pronoun.
Yeah. Not one of those amateur ones. So I'm gonna put the second clip in. Yes, part 2. Same comedy club. It's about a minute later after this, but you guys can follow along. It's funny.
Being an older father too, I don't have. They're 4 years old. They run around. I don't have the stamina. I've had to become a little creative in the games we play together. All right, Daddy is gonna lay on the couch with his eyes closed. You're gonna be the policeman guarding the dead body until the coroner shows up. That could be 2 days, 3 maybe. I'm also the one, now that I'm married, I'm the one doing the food shopping. If anybody's single and you want to see your future, just go to a supermarket. We're easy to spot. We're the ones on the cell phones. They don't have florets. I don't see florets. By the way, if you're a guy and you know what a floret is and you're not married, you're gay. They have one bag, it's small. They don't have a big bag of florets. I'm driving home. I've taken care of myself my whole life. All of a sudden, honey, I forgot to use the coupons. I know I could have saved $1.98. Can I come home? I'm circling the block like the space shuttle waiting for re-entry. Can I come back? I'm complaining, but the truth is I like being married because being single was no picnic. I dated somebody for about 6 months. She sits me down and she says, look, there's something for my life. I think it's important. You should know this. When I was 20 years old, I was a nun. Not a Jewish girl. Do I need to point that out to anybody? I mean, if she was, it was real reform. Like they have mezuzahs, but Christ is holding it. A joke I don't do in Arkansas, by the way. But she used to be married to God. Talk about pressure in a relationship. During sex, she's waiting for the second coming. And it takes me 3 days to rise again. So the point, you're just impressed the Jewish guy knew that. I read my fiction. Start the car. Start the car. Oh, I took a subway. Start the subway.
Now, I mean, looking back on this, I guess with when you look back on stuff, do you look on it more fondly now, or?
Yeah, I haven't watched that for forever, and so I'm like, oh wow, that wasn't so bad after all. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, I miss it. I miss being on stage. I miss them holding that microphone. I miss engaging with an audience. I heard somebody on a podcast recently say this. I don't know who he is. He's a famous comedian I never heard of. But it was an interesting, we live in an age with like artificial intelligence and editing and everything, that there's nothing live anymore. Like everything's manipulated. Stand-up comedy is live. If you're in that fucking club, same with music, but even with music, you have sound effects and you have, all this shit. But with stand-up comedy, it's as raw as it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's immediate. And there's something about that I really, really miss. So, no, I was like, oh, wow, that's not so bad after all.
Now, I mean, when you did comedy for like 20 years, you were doing it?
I made a living for 20 years. And then, so I started, I guess, early 20s. And then I went to like 40, but that's when I became a teacher. So at that point, I still did it, but just sort of on the side, like every once in a while.
Now, one of the things, because we have periods, I say, as a general rule of thumb, I may have a period where I'm thinking, even when things are going great, between jobs, like it's like I'm waiting like a month or 2 months between gigs or something. And I was like, man, I just don't know. But there's a couple of things that people have said to me after shows that were so moving that kind of carried me through. Do you have like the moments like that where after a show, someone said something to you that was so profound or something that it kind of like kept you going?
So I used to have this bit. It's not that funny, but I used to say, I did a show and afterwards, this guy, I think he was like a plumber. He said, "You're great. You should be a star." And I saw my agent and he said, "You should be a plumber." What I feel like, it wasn't anything that moving per se, but it was the validation of how funny I am.
Yeah.
But it was the frustration of people are telling me, how come you don't have a sitcom? How come you don't, and meanwhile, I can't fucking headline.
Yeah.
I can't get this agent to pay. Oh my God. So early on, this is, I mentioned doing the college circuit. So that I've played about 800 colleges over my career, back in the day. So at the one point, MTV had the MTV half-hour comedy show.
Yes.
They were shot at college campuses.
Yes.
I couldn't get arrested on that show. And in fact, I got a phone call. So one of the schools they shot at, the director of student activities said to the guy, "Listen, we bring in this guy, Randy Levin, every year. He kills. He's as funny, if not funnier, than the guys you wanted on your show." So it's like, I have the guy contact me and use your name. Contacted him. He vaguely remembered my stuff coming across, whatever. Send it again. Not interested. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, so my whole career, I mean, listen, every comedian could tell stories of like, what happened? Like, like this is not my story. This is somebody else's story. And I don't remember who it is, but it's indicative. It just fits for every comedian in a way, thematically. Guys in LA, he's a very funny guy. Johnny Carson's in the audience. Johnny's had a little too much to drink. So the owner says, drive Johnny home, and another comic will follow you in your car, in his car, bring you back here, whatever. So now he's driving. He's got Johnny Carson in the back seat and his date. And the date is going on and on. You were so funny. You were hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing. You were so good. Johnny, you got to have him on your show. And Johnny Carson went, him? No, he wasn't funny at all. Like, and it's like, you just can't win. So my career was filled with those kinds of moments where it's like that door should be opening and it just like slams in your face. So, the only audience stuff is when they come over to you and you feel like they think you're really good. You're really talented. Like, thank you so much. You really made, like that kind of thing. But, at the beginning, like when I was in the heyday of comedy, I worked all the time. Most comics did. I mean, back in the day, the worst comics were still working all the time as like the MC and would make a few $100 a month. I'm sorry, a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, would you discourage your kids from going into comedy?
I don't even know what it looks like anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'll tell you something. There's one thing I'm really glad that I don't do it anymore. Number one, once COVID hit and people had to do like YouTube, this kind of stuff, I wouldn't be any good at it. But comedy became so ridiculously politically correct to a point of nauseum. Yes. And as liberal as I am, I blame the left for making this world so fucking politically correct. You can't talk about anything. And the other thing, which is just the God's honest truth, I am glad that I'm not doing comedy, because if I was on stage, even if I was killing, if somebody had a fucking MAGA hat or something was said pro-Trump, I'd lose my shit and have to go on to a tangent and probably really get in trouble. So it's probably a good thing I don't do it anymore. But I think it's a whole other animal. Like, I don't know. It's not like the olden days. I mean, but look, I mean, one of my daughters is hysterical, very dry sense of humor. If she wanted to go into it, I mean, she's very quirky. Like, she wants to be a genetic counselor. That's what she's going to college for. Okay. And her goal in life is to make sure that ugly people and stupid people don't have children. Here, it says it right here. I'm sorry. Counselor, you can't have kids. I'm sorry. Just go get a pet. No, right there. So, I mean, she's just very dry, very funny. Neither of them are going to do it. But I don't discourage anybody from doing anything. If you're passionate about something, you do it until you don't want to do it anymore.
Well, I know that one of the things, the purpose of this, I don't want to call it a podcast, because I call it a show because I put it on, it's on Knob TV and it's on Spark TV. So, but it is available for people to watch on YouTube as well. But the point is, the whole purpose of me doing this is that there are a lot of people who think they should be comedians. And my answer is, some people should be in comedy. Doesn't mean you have to be a comedian. And so I wanted to show people other things that's why I'm talking to comedians and comedian adjacent, because you can be in the comedy field next to the thing you love and contribute to it in a positive way. I mean, you may be a great writer, but get on stage and you just can't deliver those jokes.
Right.
You may have a great stage presence, but can't write for a crap.
Yeah.
So I just want to show people different things that they can still be in comedy, even if they can't be the thing that they want to be in comedy.
Right. Well, filmmaking, I mean, that's definitely, a way. And because of podcasts, because of YouTubers, I mean, if somebody has a really good sense of humor, I mean, look how many YouTubers just have funny videos and do funny things and funny interviews. And yeah, there's a million, like when you said adjacent earlier, I was like, I didn't even know what that meant. But yeah, there's a million ways to be funny or to be in comedy without being a stand-up comedian.
Right. I think that the really good stand-up comedians make it look so easy that other people think they can just do it.
It's always been that way. It was always that way. Anytime you had a heckler, people just think it's so easy to, the worst hecklers were the ones that, in their office, they were so funny. And then the office group goes to a comedy club and their coworkers are laughing at that guy on stage and this guy's not getting any attention. So he starts heckling and I fucking hate it. I used to destroy hecklers, but yeah, there's so many people that think being a comedian is so easy. And it's not.
As a matter, because one of the number one fears, if not the number one fear in humanity, is speaking in public.
Right. Well, Jerry Seinfeld has that great line that the number one fear is public speaking. The number two fear is death, which means that you would rather be dead than give the eulogy. Which is a Jerry Seinfeld joke, but it's true.
Yeah. I want to put in the third part only because I'm anal and I made the tape. I made it, so I'm gonna show it. And we can talk about it on the other side. Yeah, here we go. The finale of Randy Levin at Gotham Comedy Center, Comedy Club. That's two. Here we go, three.
I did have one day job. I used to be a teacher. I was a high school English teacher, New York City and Long Island. Don't sue me, please. I hated talking to parents. I had to bite my lip all the time. My son's brilliant. He's going to medical school. Yeah, as a cadaver, he's got a good shot. My daughter is gifted. See what the return policy might be. Taught in New York City, very diverse population. I had a student, Jesus, which of course means Jesus, but it's really weird to have to physically write that. Jesus needs improvement. Jesus doesn't get along well with others. Jesus is failing English. You're feeling good, you get to the school in the morning, new day, you get to your mailbox, there's a note, Jesus' dad called. He wants to see you immediately. Let me give you an idea why I no longer teach. It's like 5 bad shows a day. All right, everybody, please pay attention. You notice on the board, copy down A, copy down B, copy down C, begin. Yes, Joey. Okay, so like you start with B. Huh? What do we do? All right, simple. Guys, please, come on. Copy down A, copy down B, copy down C. That's it. Yes, Susan? Okay, so like, I get it. You start with A and you copy that down, 4 times? And then you go to C, or do you go, everybody, please, it's simple. Just copy down A, copy down B, copy down C. That's all you got to, Nancy, what are you sitting there for? Well, we got to do something. Copy down A. Look, guys, I know this is a faculty meeting, but please. That's all my time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I used to, there's another line in that. I didn't want to do it for the taping, but teaching in the city versus Long Island is a very different vibe. Like on Long Island, you walk down the halls, you hear conversations like Yale has early admissions in November, and the city was Rikers Island serves tater tots on Tuesdays. Sometimes feels a little wrong, but
that was back then, though. Now I think it's meatloaf. So, you gotta see now. You've been out of comedy so long, you don't. Yeah, you couldn't tell that tater tot joke anymore. You
no,
gotta
play anything anymore. It's ridiculous.
Vegan Wednesday at the so
Right.
I really really appreciate you doing this with me.
Thank you.
I mean, I think you're funny, and I think even though, well, how long have you been out of comedy? It's been
15 years, 14 years, something around there.
man. I think it's our loss.
Oh,
I think I do. I mean, well, I believe in the comedy community.
I appreciate it. But comics, I mean, I have some friends that are comedians and I love them and they're really good people. But overall, I found comics to have such big fucking egos. I mean, really, if you aren't like, I mean, I just saw and I don't mean to insult, because again, I have some friends that I really admire and they're really nice, but I met so many comics that were just so full of themselves. I'll tell you, and by the way, I fell into this too. So this is a great story. And this is it's so indicative of comics. So there's I'm assuming it's still there, amazing comedy club in North Carolina called Charlie Goodnights. And at the very beginning, everybody was from New York. So now you're on a plane. There's 3 Jewish comedians from New York City on the same fucking plane flying into Raleigh, North Carolina. So you get there. You're now the only 3 people standing at luggage claim. One person has a satin jacket with the comedy strip on the back. It's clear we are the 3 comedians, but nobody wants to be the first to say hello because I want you to recognize me. So what happens is the 3 of us are standing about 10 feet away from each other, pretending like we don't see each other. In comes the guy from the club. Hey, guys, here. And then you're like, oh, I didn't see you there. Yeah, I'm Randy. How you doing? Like it's so driven by ego. It used to just drive me crazy because I'm not that kind of person, that's probably to my disadvantage too, because I didn't have a big ego. Like I didn't think I was the greatest thing. Again, there's some great comedians that are also just really nice human beings, but I just,
you know them?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
But there are some that are just, but that kind of thing is so typical where now you have to introduce, it's just shut the fuck up. Just be a person.
I mean, in a way, I think you've gotten, I think you got out of comedy at a good time. I'm just speaking to the fact that I think I find that you're good for comedy. It's like a good ambassador for comedy, if that makes sense to me, if that makes sense to you.
I'm a good schmoozer.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree. I mean, because I love it. I miss the olden days of what it was because there was still camaraderie. Don't get me wrong. There was still camaraderie. But, nobody likes the traveling. Nobody likes the agents. Nobody likes the bullshit. But that time in the club and getting up on stage is just, there's nothing like it.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm 66. I told my wife that I probably will do comedy until I'm 70.
Cool.
I didn't start until I was 55.
Oh, neat. Cool.
So I was starting up around the time that you were ending. You were calling it quits around the time I've been doing comedy for 11 and a half years.
Oh, neat. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you've been out of it longer than I've been doing it.
Right. But that's great. Yeah. Well, you've been playing guitar longer than me.
Yeah, and we sound about the same. So now I just appreciate you doing this with me, and now Jared, your co-host with String Theory, Guitar Obsessed. Okay, I saw that he has his own little production company. I just wanted to give him a little shout out.
Jared is he's a filmmaker. He does commercials. That's his business. You know what I mean? Like this was just another project for him. I mean, a passion project for sure, but it's like, that's done. Let's move on. Me, I'm just like I said, I'm pimping this like my ex-wife during Flea Week.
Did you have to teach Jared how to be funny? I'm just teasing. No, he's so young. He's so young. And did he not?
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's funny.
No, I'm just, so thank you so much, Randy.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to plug? We're going to talk about the movie. Reflect that.
Just if people, even if you don't play guitar, but if you like music, it's only an hour long, so you can't get too bored. It's on YouTube, free for everybody. It's called String Theory Guitar Obsessed, and it's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun. That's all. That's it. It's an hour long. Stay past the closing credits for a very funny scene afterwards. But it's a lot of fun. And so, yeah.
Now, I want to put this out there as well, because Randy is looking for 1 million. Remember, he's looking for 1 million views. Once he gets that, he's going to release the other documentary that they already have written.
No, we don't have. We don't have it.
No.
That's it. We have another one. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you love this, if you like it, you'll get to see the second one once it hits 1 million views. So tell your friends.
Cool.
What's the other one? What's the other one called? No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks. I get, my pleasure. All right.
All right. Take care.
Be well. Thank you.
And